Okay, we'll wake up the microphones and fingers crossed the world agrees with us. If everything is good, which it should be, I am now delighted to welcome you to the Dawntrail celebration launch today. We're just, less than 24 hours away from early access and just a few days away from the official release of Dawntrail. Thank you so much for being here with us. My name is Alex. I'm the organizer of KupaCon, and today I'm delighted to be joined by some of the voice actors from Final Fantasy XIV. And your microphones are live. Hello, folks.
Hello.
I hope everyone is well. I begin with some unfortunate negative news is that Robin cannot join us today. It is not of her own fault. She's perfectly fine. Unfortunately, her little one is teething. And if any of you out there have children, you will know that teething is not a pleasant experience. There's not much you can do about it. And gone are the days of where you can, take a little bit of gin or whiskey or whatever it is to conk them out for the next 6 weeks. Even though I think some doctors still recommend it, but we'll just go with the frozen rings for now. But it's not a pleasant experience. And she did reach out to me this morning, and she was really quite sad about it. But we send our very best to you and your little one. I hope everything improves for you very soon, and I hope you get some rest. I do not miss those days. Anyway, but then again, then they grow up and they start talking back, so maybe I do miss them. Now, let's before we jump into parenthood, let's introduce everybody. So we're going to start on the order of the screen that it is for our viewers. We're going to start with Sina, please. If you could introduce yourself and tell us who you play.
Of course. Hi, I am Sina Breyer, and I play the newcomer Wuklamat.
And Karina.
Hi, I'm Karina Reeves, and I played Tataru.
Beth.
Hi, I'm Bethan Walker, and I play Alizé.
Now, you two look so similar, and I think that's Peter and his stunt double, but we'll start with Peter.
Who are we starting with? Sorry.
Peter. Yes.
Me. Hello. I am Peter Bramhill, and I play Thancred Waters. This is Thancred.
And I am Robert Vernon, and I play Estinian.
And then last but certainly not least, Tim.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Timothy Watson, and I play Riange.
So we're going to... Oh, apparently they have a little bit of an echo. That's me. I'm sorry. Hopefully that will improve it. If there is, apologize if there was a bit of an echo there. So we're gonna talk a little bit about obviously Dawntrail, but I'd like to begin, if we may, by talking with you, Sina, as you are the newcomer to this, which is quite exciting. You must be excited, huh?
I'm at the point of excitement where it goes back to zero, like Gandhi in Civilization 1, and I'm just like, still.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, were you very familiar with the Final Fantasy series before this?
No, I never played it once. But yes, I have played 14. I've played and beaten every Final Fantasy except for 15 and 16. 15 I need to get on. 16 I need a PC because I need it to come out on PC. Played 14 since its original launch and 11 since its launch before then. So yeah, kind of played a lot of it.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have that knowledge of the game, you know? I mean, a lot of people come into Final Fantasy and have, absolutely, no familiarity with the series at all. Robert, what about yourself? We haven't had an opportunity, like I've spoke with the other Scions before, but tell me, were you familiar with the Final Fantasy series?
Yeah, my first encounter was 7, which obviously was the first one that came out in Europe, in the UK. And I got that for my 13th birthday. I went to Virgin Megastore and I bought like a big bunch of games and I played that, and it was all in the magazines. We'd never played an RPG before, and I got absolutely obsessed with 7, and then 8, 9, 10. I actually missed the last couple of weeks of my A-level classes. That's official, to play Final Fantasy X. And I told that I was revising and I was playing 10.
Good boy.
Yeah, I did all right though.
Respect.
I was okay. That was okay, but I just I stopped playing them. I played 11 a lot as well, and then haven't really played many since. But that kind of period, they were really important to me. Yeah.
Amazing. I didn't expect that. For some reason, I just thought you were going to say no. I have no. And to me, I've always said this, that I think the golden, no offense, 14 actors, but I think the golden period of Final Fantasy is that kind of that 7, 8, 9, 10 thing. I think maybe it's just such a revolutionary time in gaming, but who knows? Zina, let's have a chit chat about the audition period. This is a conversation I've had with the other Scions again, so don't think I'm ignoring you, but these are kind of things I want to touch on before we jump into Dawntrail. So tell us how the audition came around, and tell us about your excitement when you found out you had the part.
Oh, it came in like any other audition. It just came in through my agent. I had kind of mentally not sworn off, but kind of accepted, I'll never get into that. It only casts in the UK. So it was not something I thought was ever going to come in my email inbox. And then one day it came in, and first I hyperventilated, but then I went in and I just had the whole weekend, thankfully, to prep everything. And I just put as much best audition I possibly could. And I'm not sure if it was a week later or maybe 2 weeks, because this was around the time when the entire San Fernando Valley was flooding, so everything was delayed for a bit. Got the call back, went in studio, auditioned, thought, all right, you know what, this is probably as far as I get, but I got this far, I'm happy with that. And then I think it was, again, about another week or 2 later, I was in line at Chipotle and got an email saying I booked the part, and there's a meme going around. Someone literally drew fan art of this yesterday of Wuklamat in line at Chipotle crying at her phone, and the guy is just like, are you good? I'm like, I'm fine, I did it. So yeah, and then of course had to keep it all secret because I was under NDA, despite my voice being in the trailer, and thankfully only one person recognized me.
Yeah, I imagine
I didn't have people in my Twitter DMs like, "Oh my God, was that you?"
There's probably quite a few people who are watching this right now. I found this actually when we did the 16 launch, is that there's a lot of voice actors there who are probably in Dawntrail, but they're not allowed to say that they're in Dawntrail right now. So they're probably watching this and very frustrated with the fact. But don't worry, we'd love to talk to you in the future. There will be other times.
Oh, that was me at every fan fest. I was just like, I want to go so bad. Las Vegas is right there. But if I go, people are going to be like, sounds like you.
No, totally. Robert, what about yourself? Do you remember back in the audition days?
Yes. So 12, Final Fantasy 12 is like, that's just after that period I'm familiar with. But there's a character in that, he might have been the villain, and he kind of has a mask on, and there was a sort of like kind of Vader quality. And in the audition, they were asking me to replicate that at home. And so I did, and I kind of was like, and it was all like that. And then when I came in, I was like, we can do that. And I came in and read for it and was just, well, this is never going to happen. Very similar. And then, but I had the recall in person and then got it, and I just couldn't believe it, really. Because like, it's not just that I played those games. It's like all I used to talk about in that period, really. Final Fantasy, when I was a teenager. Like, I was absolutely obsessed for kind of a 3-4 year period.
I'm delighted to hear that. I don't know why. I just figured, I'd made the assumption in my head, nah, Robert's not, because we hadn't had a chance to connect yet. And, but that's amazing to hear. I'm really like, well, you have to get yourself to a Kupo and quick now. It has to happen.
It's just what you said as well. It's that was kind of like a golden period.
Do you mind me asking how old you are, Robert?
I'm 40. Okay. Yeah. So it was just, it's the timing as well, isn't it? It's like I was the exact right age for them kind of being released over here, and I lapped it up, really.
So now we know how old you are. I have a follow-up question is, what's your skincare routine? Because you do not look 40, so congratulations. You don't have to answer that one. It's a secret. Anyway, that's fantastic that you had such a love for the series. Now, of course, we've already discussed kind of the audition roles. We've done it on stage, we've done it in previous streams, so I'm not going to cover those things today. If you'd like to see and hear from the other VAs about their auditions experience, you can go back and watch many of the interviews that we've done online. In fact, the Endwalker one we did was a good one for sure. Let's move on. I'd like to, if we may, just before we dig into it, kind of into Dawntrail and stuff, I want to ask how the experience has been for you from when we last did something like this. So we did the Endwalker one, which would have been, oh my God, that was over 2 years ago now. And I think that, if I may say, that I think that there's been quite a change for the voice actors for 14. I think you really become not just the voice behind the character, but you have become icons. You have really been thrown into the social media whirlwind. You've done lots of events, and I'm wondering how that's been for you. Let's start with Karina. How's the experience been for you? I mean, I know that you've done voice acting, and I know that you've done a lot of voices, but 14 has definitely really grown over the last few years. How's that been for you since Endwalker?
It's been amazing. It's been a bit of an eye-opener. If it wasn't for you, Alex, I don't think I would know much about the whole social media and the Final Fantasy XIV world. But having since been in contact with you and connecting with you and meeting all the Scions, it's been wonderful. What I've loved most is just meeting the community and seeing how much Final Fantasy XIV means to them and how much they can really just express themselves and how much the game really just makes them feel. So it's been really nice connecting with everyone in the community. But I also, do you know what I've loved most, Alex, is being in contact with these guys. As voice actors, you are so isolated in your recordings. When you finish the game, even when you're in the studio, you might never cross paths. But what I've loved is connecting with everyone and building a friendship with all these people that we've been working with for 10 years. And now it's finally, we're budding up, we're becoming pals, we're becoming really good friends. And I absolutely love that.
I mean, you've gone from pals to matching outfits down there. I mean, they're, the bromance.
Yeah.
What about for you, Beth? Because obviously, you're in a bit more of a unique experience, I guess, a unique situation, because in game you have a twin, and you had the opportunity to meet Colin, and the two of you are, thick as thieves now. I think that's been quite a life-changing experience for you.
Yeah, it has. I was talking to my husband about this the other day, that I'm so glad it's him. We had no idea. Like, I'm sure I've said this before. We used to be represented by the same agent, so his headshot was on her wall. The days when we used to go in and there was like headshots stuck on the wall. And I remember being aware of who he was, but it has been life-changing. And we now speak nearly every day, because we're doing a huge amount of work together. We're traveling a lot together. We are, we're doing a lot of interviews together, and lots of others. And the social media thing is a whole world, isn't it? That none of us are brilliant at, but we're learning and we're being taught by people. But yeah, to have people that you feel, I think Karina's bang on, people that you feel safe with, people that you can be yourself with, is really, really helpful. And I think I'm so blessed to have Colin, because I think if you don't have any control over who you get cast with, right? So we work very well together, and we have a lot of respect for each other. And I think that helps a lot. And I think we can be, we're very honest. I think we're starting to do that as well, you guys. The more we work together, we're able to say, actually, I'm not so, can you help with that? I'm not so good at that. And we're kind of constantly backing each other up. And it's just great. It feels safe now. And I think it is a lonely world. Like, we've all been in this industry a long time. It can be a very lonely world. So yeah, I just feel really blessed now. And I feel even things like this, I know I'm not coming on totally alone and isolated. I'm texting people before going, hey, are you ready? I'm so excited. Are you all, it's just so much easier now we have community. So yeah, I feel really blessed.
What about Dad Cred over there?
Hi there. Listen, Dad Cred, I mean, that's hit the nail on the head, isn't it? Because that didn't even exist. And then I was very late to, or reluctant, I suppose you could say, to the sort of social media world. But I remember us talking, actually.
I was very particular about your first tweet. Yeah. I said it had to be, this is Thancred.
Yeah, this is Thancred. And I was unsure because, you hear a lot of stories about negativity in that world, once you sort of put yourself out there. But I have to say, and I'm sort of, echoing what everyone else is saying here a bit, but the community as a whole, I've never had any negativity. And I now, I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I post quite a lot on social media. So it's become a sort of routine, and actually I get nothing but positivity back. And, I think some of my posts are better than others, but they still are very positive about it. And also, I've been really overwhelmed by the creativity in the community. The Final Fantasy XIV community is the one I know the most, obviously. But oh my goodness, the artwork and the writing I get sent to look at, and it's incredible just to be part of that world, just to be made not just part of that world, but also I feel like I haven't earned the elevation that I'm sort of in that world now, but because we sort of just do this job. And like everyone said, for many years, it's quite lonesome, even though you make friends with the directors and stuff. But now we have our little Scion band that's together, and we've got to know each other a bit. It really adds a whole different level and a different colour to the whole, because, how lucky are we to be doing a video game that's ever expanding? It seems so rare, and that's sort of something I've been on a learning curve with. And so, yeah, I mean, it sounds obvious, but it's just a very grateful time to be part of something exciting, and also to have made loads of new friends, that you don't normally get in this industry, I don't think.
You don't get it with that longevity, do you? You go,
oh no,
job, and it's 6 months, a theatre job, and you become this incredibly tight-knit family because you need each other, because you're not seeing your own family. And then it's over. And if you're lucky, you might have a friend or two from that production that stays in your life. But that's what's quite unique about this. And I think even, Sina, we haven't even met face to face, but I suspect, we're going to be in each other's lives now. And I think it is special. It's a very unique thing that we're a part of.
I have no idea where the story's going to go, but I hope I get to stay with it for a bit.
Yeah.
When we think of, when we look at the Endwalker experience, and then we look at the experience since then, and we think of some of the events that I've had the opportunity to do with you, Tim, you had quite the iconic I don't think we planned for it to be iconic, but the whole milkshake thing definitely blew up after the Endwalker stream, and you had the opportunity to do it on stage at London in front of about 1,000 drunk fans. How's the experience since Endwalker been for you?
The words "stitch" and "up" spring to because I think you knew, Alex. I think you knew that I wouldn't cotton on to that. My then teenage daughter was I can't remember if she was watching it, but she was absolutely mortified that I didn't know what I was getting myself into in that on that particular occasion. And little did I know. I mean, I'm listening to what everybody's saying. I am unquestionably the complete Luddite amongst all this lovely group of people, and I'm so far behind the equation with regards to all the social media thing. So it did kind of take me by surprise. And when I was sort of pointed out to me afterwards, again, my daughter said, "Have you seen that thing? It's a bit viral." She had to even explain to me what that meant. And to see, yes, it was. I was delighted to have contributed to the excitement in that little way. But I suppose the skill of your trick, if I can call it that, was because Urianger is. I sort of think of him as the Eeyore of the piece in a way. And so it kind of it contributed rather well. It was a nice sort of contrast. I might just something occurred to me just then when you were
that made Thancred Tigger.
Yeah, definitely.
Just checking.
Yeah, or Kanga maybe, I don't know. But I was at a big event recently, completely non-Final Fantasy, in fact, non-game related event, but a very big event that was tied to something else that I do. And there was somebody there who was very importantly involved in it, who said that their son had said, completely disinterested in the subject matter of this event, but said, "Do you know who that is?" And she said, "Yeah, he does this thing in this." And he said, No. He plays Urianger in Final Fantasy. That is the soundtrack to my life, kind of the thing, And it was those that I've heard that quite a lot, and I have come to realize, because as voice actors, we tend, it's very easy to sort of forget these things, and you go into a studio, you work for a certain number of hours, and then you go back to your life, or you go on to the next thing. And obviously we do what we do while we're doing it, and then reality kicks in. And I've just become so aware of how huge and what an incredibly supportive community the Final Fantasy community is. I can't speak for other games so much. This is the one that has that I'm sort of most involved in this context. But it's an extraordinary group of people. Something like 40 million or something people around the world involved in one way or another in playing the game, it's important that we don't forget that stuff. And I'm very proud. I'm very proud to be part of it, even in my Eeyore-ish way.
It's why we should release our Christmas album.
The Christmas album's been spoke about a lot. That took place on stage. We did get a couple Thancred Christmas tracks. I always had an idea.
You mean in a Ross and Jerome kind of way, Peter?
Exactly that type of way, I would have thought.
I actually had an idea that was brewing around in my head, but I won't say it out loud because I think it's a really good idea and I think someone will steal it. But I will mention it at one point.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, I do apologize for the misleading of the song. The more I read the lyrics, I realized that, the milkshake was not quite what I expected. And, to be fair, I didn't write it. I found it on the internet. But I would tell you that video on our YouTube channel now has 101,000 views. I think the tweets had tens of thousands for sure. The impressions were in the millions. And since then, I had a quick rummage through Reddit just to see what people had made of it. And quite a few people had decided to continue the tradition by taking other songs and changing the lyrics for Urianger. But the problem is all of the songs were really not appropriate. They were very explicit. We were talking, what's that song with big butts in? Baby Got Back, is it? I think it is. And I was like, no, I'm not prepared to go down that road today. But I do have, if the viewing audience would like, I have prepared a new song, which I think that you will recognize, that you will feel safe performing. So we'll see. We'll save it for later, see if people are interested. But you bring up that you said that 14, you realize the size of it, the magnitude of it. I'm curious as to why you think 14 has the pull that it does. What is it that makes 14 such a large game? Sina, let's go to you. What do you think is so special about 14 that has that pull that's brought millions and millions of people in?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say if it's just one thing because, this is a game that originally came out in 2010. So it's been a gradual thing. Like at first it pulled these people and then it pulled these people and then it pulled these people and whatnot. But I think what's kept people is that it really feels like, this is going to sound so cliche, but like at the end of the day, it's a home away from home. Like it's a place where you go in and you recognize places and people and also maybe if you can, it's similar enough to our real world, but different enough that it's somewhere interesting to spend your time in. Like maybe in the real world, you're Sina Breyer and you stare in front of a computer doing audio engineering for 5 hours a day, but then you go in here and suddenly I'm a black mage and I'm a cute little lizard girl and I'm going to floating islands to battle manticores and such, which, not saying that's completely unique to Final Fantasy, but it's the presentation overall, I think. I'm going a little too much into game dev brain here.
Karina, what do you think makes 14 stand out?
I think the writing, I think the storylines, the journeys, the way players can interact with the voice of that, well, not the voice actors, but the other characters in the game. I've never played it, so I am only going by the script that I get given, because obviously we don't ever get the whole story. But I would say the writing really pulls us in. The wording, the connection, the relationship between all the characters. I feel there's such a connection. Twins, obviously being one. I feel people can relate to them. Yeah, I think that.
Robert, what do you think as a avid fan of the series and of the golden era? What makes 14? What's pulled the crowd and what's made this game well, let's face it, one of Square's strongest assets?
For me, I think I'll relate it back to that and why those games in that era had such an impact on like a boy 13, 14 is if you don't realize they had a profound emotional impact on me. They showed me what I thought about the world, about politics, about all kinds of things, and revealed what was inside me. It's probably the first time I cried at something in an adult way, even though I was just 13, and I spent so much time thinking about it, about the universe and all those kinds of things. And I think from what I read online about 14 is that people consider that just from the story aspect that 14 is the best they've done since then in terms of storyline and then people connecting to it in that way. And that's on top of all the other things and the fact that you can have another life in there and you can just sort of choose your own adventure. But I think at the core, I think it's the best storyline since those days.
I definitely think that 14 has incredible storytelling ability, and it's unlike many Final Fantasies, it really does give you the ability to go off on a tangent and do whatever you want, right? Like, it's such a massive game. I just got up to date just in the last few days. Took me far too long, but got up to date. Though while we're on the topic of, what makes 14 so great, Robert, what makes Estinian so great? Because, like, I've been doing KubaCon now for 8 years, and in my time, I have seen some very provocative artwork of Estinian. Do you think that it's sexy Estinian that is selling this game? Do you think that's the key? Do you think that, is it your voice? Has your voice made Square millions of dollars? Because everywhere I go, it's Estinian. There's something about him. He's got this oomph.
I think,
What is it about him?
what is it? I think initially because he was sort of that lone wolf character, very mysterious, and that kind of gave him something, and he was very moody, and then someone that's been caught up their entire life in basically embroiled in a conflict that then's been going on for 1,000 years. They're pretty brooding. So that was an aspect of it. But then there's been a whole journey since then, and he's kind of opened up and even developed a sense of humor. But that old stuff's still in there as well. So being brought into the Scions, I just think it could have seemed like if he just stayed as he was, you just go, oh, I know what he is, I know what that is. But he's matured as a character as he's developed relationships with the other characters. And I think that's probably something that's reflected across the board. That's what makes it so rich, is that it's not, characters aren't just stuck as a sort of an archetype. They actually develop over this time, and that's what's so wonderful about it.
I wasn't sure if it was his giant eyeballs, let's say.
Oh yeah,
that's dragon eyeballs. I just want to be clear.
Well, and the lance. Well, I've seen some of that lance stuff. Yes,
there. Look. Got that mouse.
Yes, I've seen many an artwork from everybody, but that's something that we can look forward to in the future. Anyway, as we move away from Sexy Estinian.
My tattoo's still healing, so I'll have to show you that later.
As we move away from Sexy Estinian, let's talk about kind of the fan reactions to things. So, once Endwalker was released, you have years and years of content. Do any of you take the opportunity to absorb fan reactions? Do you watch any streams? Do you see any tweets on social media? Do you take anything in and kind of absorb it? I guess for you, Sina, it would be different because it's kind of raw and fresh right now with Wukla. How's that been for you? Were you nervous?
This is definitely the largest role I've had thus far in my voiceover career. Like, I mean, I've done some AAA games, like I was in Need for Speed and Hearthstone and stuff, but this was nothing else quintupled my follower count on social media like this did. I did definitely, when I need my hit of dopamine, I go watch like a Dawntrail trailer reaction vid on YouTube or something. But I was definitely nervous. Not so much like, I mean, yes, are they going to like the character, but also like, I'm a trans woman in her 30s playing a 19-year-old cis girl in a JRPG. What's the reaction to that going to be like? And thankfully, the positive has outweighed the negative like 100 to 1. To the point where, I mean, every once in a blue moon, I'll look at my Twitter DMs and see something like, "Oh, really? Okay, whatever, go on." Doesn't even faze me. The community is just so it's. I figured for the most part, just because there's so many queer people that have taken solace in Final Fantasy XIV, that overall it would probably be like, oh, that's people are going to be kind towards it, but it has blown my expectations out of the water, and it's been so wholesome and wonderful to see.
I think the Final Fantasy community is very inclusive. I find generally, I mean,
very
there's always
inclusive.
a bad egg wherever you look, but I find them very inclusive. And actually, something that I found with KubaCon is it's really opened my eyes to the vibrancy of the community, and I love that. And I think that's fantastic that you had such a warm reception for the character. Like as I said, I've just finished the most recent patches just before the servers went down. So it was my opportunity to experience Wuklomat for the first time. And I won't spoil it for anyone to get there, but there's some battles involved, and I enjoyed the dialogue. I enjoyed the character, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Beth, for yourself, there's definitely been a lot of fan reaction, a lot of interaction. You've had Colin alongside you. How's that been for you?
It's I feel like I'm getting to know people a bit. I mean, there are names and faces that I now recognize either at events. I'm seeing the same people at events or just online, because there are people who are in touch. Like Pete was talking about, you the more you put in, the more you get out, right? So the more we're getting to know people and we're recognizing these names, and it just moves me. I think I was thinking just now about what Sina was saying. I think there is a lot of respect in this community for each other and the diversity. And I think there is a need, we all have a need to belong. And I think there is a beautiful sense of belonging in this community, I've noticed in recent months, we have been swept into that. Like the community are welcoming us as one of them, which I think is really special. Like it's really, really special. When we're meeting people at conventions, they're telling us about the impact that we've had on their lives, but we're able to explain the impact that they've had on ours. So yeah, it has been I was thinking about the last interview that I did with you, Alex, it was obviously a couple of years ago. So online. So I was thinking about how much has changed for me since then, but it's been a very conscious choice. And you're never sure, are you, what's going to happen? But people are just so supportive and so welcoming, and everybody knows that I'm not like Karina was talking about, I'm not a gamer, and I haven't been yet, but I do feel I know a lot more about the game now. I understand the community. I think that's a big part of it. And we're working with artists, and it's just becoming more of a dialogue, which I find really helpful, and I find it helpful when I'm in the booth as well, because I feel like I'm understanding more of what the game means to people and why it does.
Tim, you're a pro. Do you still get nervous when parts like this, games get released, or does that ever put you on edge and you're worried how people will take it?
Well, I've been working video games for nearly 20 years, and I would echo sort of kind of what Karina was saying, that I think they've changed beyond recognition. The strength of script writing, storyboarding, the production values are off the scale now. Some of the cinematics in games these days are quite unbelievably good, and it doesn't. To me, that when you're in the booth, and we're here together. This is a rare occasion. We never get to work together, so this is why it's so lovely. And what you're doing, Alex, because we actually get to remain. I forget what Peter Bramhill looks like, and then I remember there he is.
Wish I could.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. So I've been sending you a signed picture every 2 weeks, so you're not getting them.
Send him.
I'm joking. It's just the recording process is intense, and I was just to segue for a second. The thing I do think there's the care with which the scripts in the storylines with each new expansion are dealt with. It's quite common for there to be nobody in games script related on hand, and I've never been in the booth recording this when there hasn't been script editing available, and it in the most fine detail. It's poured over, word by word, and it's a very, very caring and interactive process as you're recording. In my experience, maybe it may be something to do with Orion shape because of the weird and wonderful way in which he talks. But sorry, I rambled. Alex, I don't sort of worry about I don't have any. I've seen the trailer for this. It's mind-blowingly good, and I don't have any sort of nervousness about the release, and it's just excitement, really. You just think this So thrilled for everybody that they're going to do this, because of course it's a bit anything that you wrap on months and months before, you kind of go, oh wow, that's about to happen, because in the meantime you've done loads of other things. So but just to echo what everybody's saying, really, it is, when I started, it was really about finding different ways to be garroted or whatever it was that you were doing, in video games. And it's now it's an incredible storytelling medium, which has overtaken, the film industry in terms of its reach and its impact. So, it's just exciting to be part of it.
Before we move on to the next question, I just would like to plug the stream, as I should have at the beginning, which I did not. If you are enjoying this stream, we are KubaCon. We are the Final Fantasy fan event. We always give our voice actors an honorarium. We do like to support them. We like to support everybody. At the end of the day, we've all got bills to pay and extortionate milk to buy. If you enjoy what you see today, please join our community on Discord, discord.gg/KubaCon, or our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/KubaCon. Or if you wish to support us financially, you can find us on patreon.com/KubaCon, or you can go to the Kupo.shop, which we have produced a handful of tiny little knickknacks for this event, which I think some of you will enjoy. I will bring this up on the camera now. So we have the hold on, come on camera, the my turn.
I want my turn. I want that.
This is Thancred.
Tim, I'm sending you a package of those.
What, you think I'm going to wear them?
It gets better.
Oh, look.
Oh no.
That's our Christmas sauces. Anyway.
That's how we'll wear. Okay, I'll wear yours if you wear mine.
100%. Oh,
Alex.
definitely not. Definitely not.
Do you remember that T-shirt that I had made as the artwork that you did on stage? I lost
Yeah, thanks for that.
I'll
Oh,
have
what
it
a
made again,
shame.
don't worry.
Devastated I am.
And then
Devastated.
we did have a bunch of little stickers made too. Derpy stickers.
Look how we're leaning in. Right. What is it?
Unfortunately, you can't
We're
see
all
a
old, aren't
giant
we?
dragon
Oh, he's
balls,
so
but
happy.
that's eyeballs. Sorry, eyeballs. But yeah. But nice. Anyway, we do have a bunch of 14 stuff, so do go check it out if you wish to support the stream. It is appreciated. We actually did make a milkshake cup, a tumbler that says "Mine Milkshake" on it. Unfortunately, they haven't arrived yet, but we're expecting them to arrive in the next couple of days, and they are available in the store. We're going to milk it. We're going to milkshake the most out of it. Okay, let's move to the next question. I'm curious as to what you think is the defining trait of your character. Karina, what do you think makes Tataru Tataru?
Oh, the $1 million question, Alex. She's very witty. She's very talented. What makes her? It's a hard question. I feel like she is the glue to the Scions. I feel like she's the one that they go to for advice, but never take her advice, but should take her advice. And I don't know, I feel like I think as the story's developed, I feel like the arc of her journey has grown, as well as her kind of like mother-likeness. So I feel like as I've developed as a person and got married and had a family, I feel like I've brought that into Tataru a little bit, with her kind of always being there, always in the background, always stirring up trouble, always spinning lots of plates. So I feel like her kindness, wittiness, charm is her number one trait, I think. Yeah.
What about you, Peter?
There's lots I like about Thancred. Yeah, I mean, I think he's very loyal. He's a very loyal character. He's got a good integrity, and his perseverance is sort of dogged perseverance in the face of adversity, but also melded with, he can really bring levity to a very weighty situation. It's a great gift, that, because the Scions have certainly been up against it over the years at times. And I think, they can be brushed off as little quips and a bit silver-tongued and all that. But I think in those times, just a drop of levity can go an awfully long way to lightening the load and spurring people on to the next bit. And everyone likes a little bit of gentle ribbing, not pointing any fingers, Urianger, but I'm just saying, it's good for you. It's good for all of you. It's like and he has that great quality of being, an incredibly gifted warrior, but also, I think despite himself, he's become an incredible team player. Part of the Scions is like his family. It's become the family he was sort of eluded at the beginning of his life. And so he's had a very, a brilliant journey. I've been very lucky to voice a character like that. He's really sort of changed. Like the others were saying, from a Final Fantasy XIV does feel like it, something that didn't finish at series 1. It got 10 series, and we all got to grow in that time. And so, I hope there's a bit of me in Thancred. Yeah.
Sina, this might be difficult for you to answer because obviously we've only seen so little, but without spoiling this in any form, because the lawyers are watching, do you think that there's a trait, something that makes Wuklammat?
This is actually an easy one to answer. So, when I'm writing, my golden rule is that I think people enjoy characters for their flaws far more than their strengths. And let me tell you, Wuklammat is stupid. She is that one meme of like her staring blankly and like it shows in her head a milk carton falling over. That is a girl failure of epic proportions. And people sympathize with that. They see like, oh my God, she messes up like me. Oh my God, she doesn't know what she's doing. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I think that's what she's so much the underdog in that case. And I think people that's what instantly drew people to her. Because in the trailer for the longest time, all they heard was the very majestic, "At last we are come to the land" line. And then they see her in game and, oh, she's brainless. She doesn't have a single thought in that head. She just does things.
Let's try and lighten things up a little bit with less questions, more fun. So I thought it might be fun. As you know, in my email to you, I asked you to bring a piece of paper and a Sharpie or a pen. Not that kind of party, Peter. Not that kind of party.
You said fun, and now he's
fun. I have
not,
a great Dragon Quest slime hat I can wear right now.
Anyway, I asked you to bring a piece of paper and a pen to the call, and the reason I asked you to do that is I thought it might be fun to do a little bit of drawing. So, yes, sorry.
Here we go.
It's fun, I swear. So what I'm about to show you is a creature well known in the Final Fantasy series, and I would like you to speed draw it. So you'll have maybe about, I don't know, we'll say 2 minutes. We'll give you a little bit of time there. That seems fair. And what I'd like you to draw for me is a Chocobo. So it doesn't have to be just like this one, but this is the classic Chocobo, the big bird. So this is what a Chocobo looks like, and I'd like you to draw one for me. So you have a couple minutes to have a go at drawing a Chocobo. And I'll let you know when the timer starts to get short there. So this is just kind of your classic artwork of a Chocobo.
Classic artwork being the keyword.
Oh, wow.
Everyone's saying no pressure.
Oh, we're supposed to keep it like that because I'm just kind of doing my own spin on it right now.
My gosh.
Okay, you have about a minute left.
Oh, no.
Well, hello. Yeah, I'm just doing a bit of foot action there.
It's got about 5 hands. What is it?
Well, I think they don't actually have hands anyway, but...
Yeah, I'm going to say, where are the hands? Where are the hands?
It does now. It's a new version.
Ben says, draw it like one of those French chocobos.
Oh, dear Lord. What is...
Okay. So we're going to have
don't
30
stop.
seconds on the
Shush.
clock.
No.
30 seconds?
Great.
Oh, God, I'm looking. Why am I looking in so weirdly? I just don't know if this can be bettered.
It looks like a
15
duck-billed
seconds.
platypus.
I should stop. Everything I'm adding is making it worse.
This is more, Pete.
It's more. Sound like my acting coach.
Okay,
Oh, it's
the
gone.
time has come.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, who should we start with? Who feels
tell you
that
what.
they've nailed it?
What? No.
Right.
Beth seems really confident. Beth, come on then, show us what you got. Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
Oh,
In your face.
That's
How
lovely
proud?
stuff.
It's
Proud. Is everyone
pretty
proud?
good.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm very proud of it.
I'm
Yeah.
going to commission it.
It does
Cheers,
make you
guys.
wonder if this is the best one. Well, this is really fun.
You've gone big early.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go with Peter. Let's see what Peter's produced for us.
Wow. I did it in gold.
Oh, that's really good.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good.
Surprising.
I'm quite surprised.
Good.
Yeah, it's very good. Okay.
Detail.
So,
Good detail.
Who feels that
The
theirs
plumage,
is
the
not
plumage on
up to that standard? Tim, let's take a look at yours. Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh,
That's
no,
a
there's
grass and
one.
a sun.
Sonny.
It's Dawntrail.
A baby one.
Is it a babe? Looks like it's had a few drinks, that one.
He does a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Going a nice
Very good,
I'm going to
though.
save
That's pink
Robert
as
for
well.
last. I just felt like Rob should go last. I don't know why. It's just a gut instinct. Karina, let's see yours.
Are you sure we want to see this?
Oh, amazing.
Oh!
Amazing.
The Moppet show's alive and well.
I mean, it's had far too much milkshake, but it's loving life.
Clearly, it's
Loving life.
worn.
Massive big.
Amazing.
Prodigy fan, that
Sina,
Chocobo.
how have you done with your Chocobo?
I gave him a little friend.
Amazing.
Oh.
Amazing.
A little
that's
nervous. Got a spiky cactuar on his back.
amazing.
Love that.
And then the final, the
That's good.
finale,
That's very
with the moment we've all been waiting for. Robert, what have you got for us?
Okay.
That's pretty
Not
good.
bad.
That's pretty
It is
good.
pretty.
They were all
They
good.
were all very good.
They were,
Yeah, not a hand in sight.
we could put something together of all those. That would I'd have that on a wall
So
in a
let's
in a
ask
room.
the
I don't-
audience, who was your favorite? So I'll ask the moderators to just kind of sum it up and see who they think is the most commented. But we'll give it a minute or two for everyone to absorb that. But yeah, actually that went a lot smoother than I expected. I was hoping for some real train wrecks. You've let me down.
Disappointing. Actually.
It's like hard,
Isn't it? Decent.
We'll all do
Oh,
shots,
alright.
then we'll do it again. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what everyone's got to say. So we're just going to wait for everybody to tally it up, and we'll see what the mods think and who was considered best. So we are heading obviously
Winner
into
is
Dawntrail.
Colin
We're
Ryan.
just a
Congratulations.
few days away. Those who are going to be playing in early access are less than 24 hours away. I'm curious, and obviously we have to be very careful about what we say here, but how do you feel about the story's direction in where we're going? I'd like to be as generic as possible. Let's start with Peter. How do you feel about the story incoming?
Well, obviously I can't say a great deal, but all I know is you won't be disappointed. It's going to be a proper ride into Tural and beyond. It's I mean, all I can say is I had as much fun as ever and more in the booth. For my one line, and no, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. Honestly, I cannot imagine anyone not having a fantastic time as they delve in. It's going to be a bit of excitement, bit of heartache, bit of something for everyone. Something for everyone.
Now we know how it ends,
Yeah.
I guess. It's just going to end with you screaming, "My turn," and then it'll just go black.
Just be my turn. It just blacks out. Just
Beth,
Yeah.
what about you?
I mean, he said it all. It just looks gorgeous, right? I think it's a very different world, and I think it's very, very exciting. And I suspect there shall be some twists and turns. I shall say no more.
Good work, yeah. And brilliant music, all that. We haven't talked about the music in them all, though. Music's incredible for everything. Is
And the graphics, it's just all, like Tim was saying earlier, it's just the quality of this game is astounding, right? It's and we get these tiny little snippets in the booth just occasionally if you're having to pitch a line, like, okay, and sometimes you just get it so wrong, and they're like, should we show you the size of what you're looking at? And then you get to see these tiny little glimpses, don't you? And it's mega, makes you realize the world that you're in. But yeah, it's very exciting. I think people in just a couple of days, we're going to start to hear the response, and it's going to be really exciting.
We'd like to take some questions from the viewers. So if you are watching right now and you'd like to submit a question, just go ahead. Obviously, it's going to be difficult for us to get through many. We do have a few from our patrons that I'd like to touch on very quickly. But before I do that, I'm going to put you out of your misery and tell you that the results are in for the Chocobos. In third place, a very, very valiant effort, is Tim. Tim, congratulations, third place. That's very respectable.
Take that.
Very respectable. In second place is Sina. Congratulations. And first place, Peter.
Yes, it should be. Good, Pete.
No, is that true?
Yeah, I don't know that 50 quid you just sent me on PayPal definitely helped, but yeah. No.
I know. Listen,
that was
okay.
I don't accept
recount.
that.
You're fourth now, Tim.
On behalf of all dads, Dad Fred says thank you.
So while we're waiting for some questions from the audience, let's take our minds back to what was, let's face it, one of the things I love about 14 is that when they write the story, they do tend to bring in little anecdotes and little puns and things from the outside world, and there's many quests that are called funny things. So I will be very disappointed if the next expansion does not contain something to do with milkshakes. I will be distraught. There needs to be at least a one-liner in there somewhere, and I will consider my accomplishment in life. But last time I asked you if you knew the song My Milkshake, or My Milkshake Brings All the Boys Together, and you said no, you didn't. But Tim, are you familiar with the song Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen?
Oh, well, now you're talking my era now. So yes, I am.
We have prepared an Orionje version of this song that I would like to share with you now.
I can't wait for this.
So you'll just have to kind of hear the song in your head. Let me just break this up so it's good.
Is this the real life? Is this just Final Fantasy?
Not far off.
Here it goes. Here it goes.
Not in Titan's landslide.
Okay, so. Do you think you can give that a shot?
Yeah.
Who are you addressing that question to?
You, Tim.
Hello.
Has to be you, Tim.
I've just
has to be.
Chat.
Okay. For one, I had to put my glasses on so that I can see it.
Oh, there we are.
Okay. You want me to give this a go?
Give it a shot.
Is this thine real life? Is this just Final Fantasy? Caught in the ethereal sea, no escape from reality. Open thine eyes, look up at Azoya's sky, look up at Ozia's skies and see. How are we doing so far?
Good. Keep going.
I'm just a scholar, I need not sympathy, because I cast spells, target foes, read tomes with ease. Any way the lopper it go, doth matter to me, Alice just killed a mob, put a spell against thine head, cast thunder, now 'tis dead. Thancred, a fate had just begun, but now he's gone and thrown it all away.
Wait.
Woo!
Brava.
Album
Smashed
coming
it.
next week.
God.
That was hilarious.
Okay.
Well done.
I'm very proud.
Sorry, I probably wasn't even on the camera because I'm so long-sighted. I had to look at the text in the chat.
You're amazing.
Thank you for being such a good sport. So let's move to some fan questions. Linda asks, for everyone, if you could pick any other 14 character to voice, who would you pick? Anyone wish to take that one?
Well, there was that talk a few years back about them making a live action version. And if that ever happened, I would love to play Ysayle, just because I feel like I could do a good Ellison. But yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
I'd like to date Y'shtola just because she's gorgeous
Oh,
and
yeah.
an absolute badass, and it would just be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I could have a crack at Estinian, I think. Bring me that.
Did we lose him then?
The impression was too good.
Yeah,
It couldn't
the
be seen by
internet
mortal
froze.
eyes.
You were that good. It just died.
Did it was
No more
like
internet.
murmur in the internet for a moment.
Yeah.
If the internet had hormones, there it goes again. It just can't take it. It's just he's that good. It's just too much for it to take. It just can't take it. What a great freeze frame too.
Classic.
We're just going to leave them to it. They'll be back when they're ready.
That's very sweet. That's
Yeah.
Quick,
Look, they're
someone
back
answer a
again.
question.
They're back again.
Oh,
Welcome
they're
back.
back. There they are.
Oh, everyone's back.
everyone.
Stop it.
Now, this is kind of a question that was already covered a little bit, but Soraya asks, has meeting and getting to know each other more personally through KoopaCon and other events changed the way you look at your characters and how you feel about the journey that they're on? Now, I know that, you've all had an opportunity to get to know each other, which is great, and it's even... I mean, I've interviewed a lot of people from a lot of Final Fantasy titles, and you guys definitely have a bond like nothing I've ever seen, which I think is really spectacular. But has it impacted the way you play your characters? What about you, Rob?
I'd definitely, but as people have touched on before, it's quite rare that occasionally you get the line played in, and you might be lucky and have the other voice actor, but usually, you're being read in by the director, and so actually to not only the clips are out there, that helps as well, but to actually meet those people and develop relationships absolutely does, because you learn about them, the things that you don't see, so you kind of go, oh, I can imagine how. It might even be in your own imagination, but it's informing, I think there might be this kind of thing, the little twist, and it can mean that you get like different alternate takes that with a bit more nuance. So it just absolutely, it's always going to make it better and deeper and better for the player.
Also, singularly, where it's quite unique, isn't it, that we've all got to hook up a bit and meet each other, which is amazing. But also the nature of this game is that the Scions are this group, this that are forging together and galvanizing each other, where we may have met and you might have been nemesises, but actually the way we've met is also we've created a sort of group mentality, a sort of union, a sort of assemblage of people, and I must admit, you do see traits of people like the casting. There must be a reason for casting somewhere back in the day, because there are traits of the characters in the people I've met, without a doubt. Only the good ones, only the good traits, obviously.
Sure.
There's kind of a chance thing for me. It's only really, but I've kind of become more involved just because of the anniversary event and the cake making, and then yes, and it's just because I got asked to do that directly that it's kind of led. I'd kind of convinced myself, oh, I'm too awkward, I'm too shy to do these sorts of things and to get involved, because I'm like, no, that's too scary. And it just doing that and I'd seen that Beth was going to do it. We actually went to drama school together. I was in the year above her, so like I was like, oh right, that makes that okay. And then, oh, this has happened.
And then you met him.
And then it all went downhill.
We make cakes once a week now.
Yeah,
wear each other's clothes.
I've never seen a bromance happen quite so quickly. It literally happened within about 20 minutes of them walking into the room, and I was like, they're going to be mates for a long time.
And then that's kind of like Beth said earlier. Now I feel safe, and so I'm kind of stepping into this world now today, and and it feels good.
I appreciate you opening up and saying that, because one of the things that we find a lot at events like KubaCon is there are a lot of people who are shy or anxious or whatever, and they come to these events and they're surrounded by familiar people. Not that they know these people, but they all have familiar interests, and I think that it's a great bonding exercise. It's a really just a fun experience. So I insist now that you come to a Kupo in the flesh. I think you will find it a very rewarding experience. I mean, I'd like to think that it's a rewarding experience. Everyone always comes back more than once. It's quite something. But I really appreciate you being here today.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I look forward to that. Yeah, I'll definitely be interested in the future.
Amazing. Let's move to a different question with a slightly different take. So this is a question from Alex, and the question was, what do you think your character's summer cocktail or mocktail would be? Karina, what do you think Tataru would be sloshing away with?
I think she'd like an amaretto on the rocks. I feel something quite like spicy, sharp, but quick, because she hasn't got time for long, like lasting drinks. It'll be a quick, put it down, let's crack on.
Fair. Tim, what do you think Orionje would order at the bar, apart from a milkshake, of course?
Yeah, that goes without saying. Well, Orionje, I think he's like that. I always think of him as like that eccentric kid at school who decides he's going to live in a different era. He's going to be in the 1940s, and Thancred's his long-suffering mate who puts up with it. So I think he would completely ignore any kind of contemporary drinks and order a tankard of grog or mead or something like that from the Elizabethan times, and if it wasn't available, he'd leave. So something with a period flavor.
Okay,
would be my guess.
We have so many questions that I'm going to keep moving between questions rather than asking you all the same question. And it's on the topic of what we eat and drink again. But Carly says, open to everyone, what do you think your character's favorite food would be and why? Anyone want to take that one? What about you, Beth?
Look forward to Dawntrail.
What would she have? She'd have something utterly filthy with chili on top, probably. Something like hot and spicy and fierce. And again, practical, like practical quick food. Yeah. I imagine. With chips, probably.
Kebabs, then.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Kebab and chips, probably.
Right,
sure.
The beef jerky, because you can store it and last for a while. You bring it out, tough chew. I think Thancred would like a bit of beef jerky, I think. Yeah.
Probably.
See now.
Just a steak, just charred with an inch of its life.
That's right.
Oh, I was legit saying look forward to Dawntrail because
I figured there's gonna be a lot of food
maybe
involved. I can feel that.
Maybe a question of similar things will come up. Who knows?
We have so many questions, but so little time. I'm going to go with this one as the final question from the viewers, and that's from James. And some of you may know James Baston. He runs our merch desk at most events. And if it had been anyone else asking this question, I would have just gone over it because it's a bit weird. But I know that James doesn't mean it in the way it sounds. But can you give us your best or favorite fighting noise or grunt?
Brilliant.
Give us your best. Ooh. So we'll start with, well, we might as well go in order of camera. So I apologize, Sina, you would be up first, but can you give us your best battle sound?
So fun fact, I have to be really careful when I'm in the booth doing efforts, like especially damage efforts, because I get hiccups really easily doing them. Like it just knocks my diaphragm out, which apparently means I'm doing it right. But I think my favorite I ever did would actually be, I don't know if this is what you were asking, but in Hearthstone, I was an obsessive fangirl character, and her death thing was.
Karina.
Tataru doesn't fight, so it'd be an effort for
I've
everything.
seen her fight with the Scions quite a bit.
Well, she argues, yeah, and she doesn't take no for an answer. So I think it's more of an agitated, like.
Beth.
Beth.
I think Zoom just killed you then.
Zoom is muting all of us. They're too good.
Did it mute? I did think that. Oh, this is not going to work. Did you hear it at all? Probably not. Should I try again?
Softer.
Or was it too? Okay, ready?
Oh, you're nice.
Did you
The
get
first
it?
time we
Very
just
good.
got
Yeah.
Peter.
Well, like, look at us, man. Like Beavis and Butthead. Right. Okay. Yes, I did do a good death once in a video game. I can't remember which one it was, but I quite liked it because it was a throat. So it's like like when you get your actions, they say stomach, arm, leg thing, just to make them specific. And then that one was my favorite, the throat, which was something like sort of. And then you bled out. Yeah.
Lovely.
Oh.
Again, he died twice.
He came mad.
Somebody
He had something to
screen
say.
caps that facial expression because that was good.
Yeah.
Robert.
Well, it's got to be push-ups. So it was.
Zoom is nasty. Zoom ruins
Oh,
everything.
we missed it.
Really
we missed
is.
We're gonna have to
Go
do
again.
this on
Is it
stage. It's gonna make up for
Keep
it.
going.
I've got to go do push-ups.
Keep going. Keep going.
Anyway,
I'm going to have that as my
Great
ringtone.
faces.
Having that as my
Casey's gonna be
ringtone.
loving
I
this.
couldn't ignore that because I know that was very
I've
popular.
recorded
Tim.
that.
you give us a grunt.
A grunt, as
You
opposed.
can give us whatever you want to give me.
Well, yeah, grunt's more orange, isn't it? Because it's like Peter was saying, there are a million ways to be to be killed, and all that sort of stuff. All the efforts are they're so specific, aren't they? Now, light, medium, high for every single thing. But so yeah, it's similar sort of something like that.
Yeah,
Thank
nice.
you, James,
nice.
for that very weird question, but very entertaining. We certainly tested Zoom to its best there. Before we move on to the final segment, again, I just want to say a special thank you to everybody watching. Thank you to our mods, of course, for helping us through this. Again, if you wish to support the stream, or if you want to join the community, discord.gg/KoopaCon. We do have a Facebook group. And if you wish to support us financially, as we like to support everyone financially, we always offer an honorarium to all our guests, and we think it's important to do so. You can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/KoopaCon, or you can go to kupo.shop, where we also have these brand new Moogles that we had made. Yes.
Ooh.
Thank you all. Whoosh. And then those of you who may not be familiar with Tripom, well, I can't spend the time going into it, but it's from 8 Triple Triad style, and there are just loads of cards to collect from 14 Gridania, Ishgard. See if we can find, there's a Loporrit. Lots and lots to collect, but everyone's support is very much appreciated. And of course, just for being here today. We're going to end by having a little bit of a script read. So I'm going to share this with you. It is a custom written scene, which apparently is slightly over the limit of what I can send. So I will send that piece first, and then I will send the other piece after it. So just take a quick look at that. Everybody has lines. I will take the line of the waiter. And just give you a second to read over that. So we'd like everyone to play it in there.
That's Bohemian Rhapsody. We don't
read that again.
He's trying to trick you.
So it's from where it says "scene the Crystarium" outside. So we'll set the scene, and then we have a little bit of custom content. Okay. Everybody ready?
Ready.
Okay, so scene. The Crystarium outside a bustling cafe. Alize, Wuklamat, Tataru, Thancred, Estinian, and Oriange are seated at a large table, each with a milkshake. The atmosphere is lively and cheerful. Beth, it's you.
It was Estinian.
Scroll up.
Right at the top.
Oh, I've ruined it. Sorry, team.
No, we're still in it. We're all still in it. It's fine.
I'm drinking.
Brilliant. Fired. Okay, ready. Well, I never thought we'd all be sitting here enjoying milkshakes together. This is fantastic.
A rare moment of peace. I'll cherish it while it lasts.
I heard this cafe's milkshakes are the best in Crystarium. I'm so glad we decided to come here.
I heard Oriange had a hand in this outing. Care to share the story, old friend?
It was but a humble suggestion. Yet it appears mine milkshake bringeth all yon gentlefolk to mine yard.
Truly, Orianche, your way with words never ceases to amuse.
Well, they did bring us all here, didn't they? These are delicious.
Absolutely. We should make this a regular thing. A little break from saving the world.
Agreed. Moments like these are important too.
To unexpected delights and the bonds we share.
To friends and peace, however fleeting.
To cherished moments and the gentlefolk who make them worthwhile.
Excuse me, Master Alphino, would you like another milkshake?
I am not you.
And scene.
Hey!
Thanks to everyone for being such good sports and going with the flow. I appreciate it. I'd like to end, if I may, by saying that it's always an absolute pleasure to talk with you all. There's something, not to knock any of the other casts of any other games, but there's certainly something very special about the 14 cast. You all have a very unique energy. I think it's because you just all blend so well together, and it's always a pleasure to talk with you all. Thank you for bringing your energy and your enthusiasm today. I'm sure everyone's excited to check out Dawntrail. Early access begins tomorrow, with access to the game beginning in just a few days on July 2nd. If you haven't already, you can pre-order. I'm not sure. I think you may have missed the window for early access. You may have, I'm not sure, but certainly we're just a few days away from that. How exciting. And I hope you enjoy reading all the feedback from the fans over the next few weeks. And of course, the doors of KoopaCon will always be open to you. We'd love to have you back. In fact, we do have an event coming up in Glasgow, Scotland, early next year. So conversations must take place. Do you have any final remarks that you'd like to share? I'll go through everybody just so they have an opportunity. We'll start with Sina. Is there anything you'd just like to say to the 14 world as a whole?
Thank you for being so accommodating. I've been a part of the community myself for, a third of my life. Thank you for being there. I don't know. I might have had more to say had I gone first. Sorry. You kind of caught me unawares there.
Karina.
I would just like to say thank you for all of your support, your love, your kindness, and I really hope you love Dawntrail. You're gonna love it.
Beth?
Just same. I'm very grateful. I'm just very, very grateful to be on this journey. It's not something that many actors get to do. So yeah, thank you for having us, and thank you for continuing to support the game and to support us on an individual level. Very, very grateful.
Peter.
My turn. Listen, everything they said and more. Dad Cred loves you, and thank you for all the love you send back. You're going to have an absolute blast in Dawntrail, so get stuck in, enjoy it. You deserve it. You all deserve it.
Robert?
Yeah, I'm just really thrilled to be a part of it, and any feedback I've had from people, letters sometimes, it was really touching. It had such a big impact on me in the past, and then to see that this game means so much to people all around the world as well. It's wonderful, and I hope you enjoy the next expansion.
And Tim.
Our paths are unchanged. Our creeds are sacrosanct, and this we believe with all our hearts. So thank you to all of you. Enjoy this new amazing expansion, and look after each other, and lots of love to you all.
Well, it's been my pleasure today. Thank you so much for joining us. But I guess we should end with the final words of Endwalker, which is, weigh anchor now, the tide is high, and dawn of new adventure nigh. Row forth to break horizons bond, and tread the gilded path beyond. Enjoy Dawntrail. Thank you very much to our voice actors, and thank you so much for being here today. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.
See you soon.